Hi, everybody. This is Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw. And today I'm going to be talking to you about my first impressions of Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. I played it on my Xbox Series X using Game Pass, and boy, I'm glad I did. I'm not going to be overly critical on this game, but I'm also not going to be glowingly positive because, if I'm being honest, I don't have a ton of positive things to say about it right now. Yeah, you're going to see footage of the game, not just my old face here, so you can say goodbye to me very soon. If you like my videos, by the way, a like, a comment, a subscribe. I really appreciate it. I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm the best, so enjoy my stuff. Let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. And boy, the Dark Alliance they made was with the devil, the devil of bugs and frame rate issues. And so, all right, let's get into it. Enough of the face. Bye. For those of you who haven't heard about this game, it's a third-person sort of co-op hack and slash brawler type action game using some Dungeons and Dragons elements like the characters. Obviously, the characters are from a Dungeons and Dragons story. The combat feels, I don't know. You see how it's inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, but it's just sort of a co-op-y action game, really. And I wouldn't even say it's very action-heavy, the bit I've played of it. I called this video my first and last impressions, I think, because I don't think I'm going to be going back to Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance until it gets some fixes, some patches, and maybe they add in some co-op, and I sit down and play some couch co-op with it. Now, there is co-op in the game currently. It's online co-op, and boy, there is a weird feature to its online co-op, which I'll get to in a moment. There are a few weird choices in this game. Okay, let's get to me selecting my first character. So I almost never pick a sort of ranger or rogue type character in a lot of games. I usually make myself a tank or a mage, and there's no real mage option in this. I'm sure someone kind of presents themselves as a mage, which maybe it's the archer. That kind of makes sense. Anyway, I pick Drizzt Do'Urden. And I don't know, I thought it'd be kind of a cool choice to play a character that I hadn't really played a lot in games. Well, let's fast forward to me hopping into a multiplayer match, shall we? After going through a brief and somewhat buggy tutorial, I decide to hop into a co-op game through Quick Play, which then presents me with this situation. Unable to play, character is already in your party. So you can't be a character that is already in the match. Now, if you're just playing with friends, I don't see this as a big issue. But playing with random people online, I now had to pick a character I didn't want to play. Actually, in some ways, I'm kind of glad I ended up playing this character because this mission ended up being crazy over-leveled for me, or at least my party was way over-leveled compared to me. So I hadn't gone through the tutorial as the archer, Catie Brie. I believe that's how you say it. And well, I hope all the Catie Brie fans don't come in here and really tear me a new one for talking about Catie Brie as Catie Brie. But anyway, it pops me into a match, and I can't play the character I picked. Now, I feel like that's a mistake, maybe, from a matchmaking standpoint, but also it's very possible that the character I picked is the most popular character. So now the most popular character is going to be the character you shouldn't pick if you want to level. And then depending on how characters are balanced throughout the game, it's possible that the archer, barbarian, fighter, whoever, it's possible that one of these characters becomes the most popular due to how their stats work out, how their gear works out. One of them becomes the clear choice. And now all of a sudden it's harder and harder to find games where you can play that character. Again, not an issue if you're playing with friends. In fact, playing with friends, I love the idea that everyone is a different character. It would be kind of weird if everyone picked the same person and you all hopped into matches. But given that you are playing not at all times with friends, and given the fact that the longer this game is out, the more the player base dwindles, it just feels super unfortunate that it will pop you into a game and you immediately have to switch your character or find another game. I don't know. It's not a great way to do it. I told you I wasn't only going to be negative during this, so let me talk about a couple things I did like. The aspect of finding gear and leveling up your character is good. It is. I mean, that's Dungeons and Dragons to me, right? Not gear, essentially. When I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, I feel like we never cared about gear as much as we cared about leveling and finding what our new feats were, but I like revealing the gear at the end of a mission. I like seeing that I leveled up. In this mission, I leveled up like 8 times or something like that because I was a level 1 character paired with these higher party members. So I like that. I like seeing that I can put pieces together. With this archer, my thought is, all right, let's go crit chance because I'm under leveled, so that should help me in some of these encounters if I can crit. All of that's pretty cool. Putting gear together is pretty cool. Choosing feats is pretty cool. And that progression is nice. Is there anything else that I really like about this? I'm trying to think if there's something else I like about this game besides revealing gear and then putting my stats into things. That's just the RPG head in me, is I love doing that. So, yeah, that's that. Yeah. I do think the game felt a little better once I got into my second and third runs where, you know, I was able to kind of spec my character a little more. I saw the effects of my crit damage and my feats all put together. I kind of understood how to use my arrows a bit better than I did in my first run. So that was fun, and this feels like a kind of a fun nonsense game you could play with friends. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like a little bit like Dynasty Warriors, and I'm sure they would take this as an insult, but I actually like Dynasty Warriors games in general, but it's not that serious what's going on. The only thing about this combat, though, is it feels like nothing is happening. I know that sounds crazy, but there isn't a really strong sound when you're hitting enemies. It's almost like there's no feedback as you're going through these encounters, and you're just kind of picking up little items and fighting the same enemies over and over again with your buddies, who one's better than you and now one's worse than you because they're in the position you were a couple rounds ago. I don't know. It feels really uneventful. And one of the craziest things is I never know when I'm going to get hit. I have no idea that a hit is coming. Sometimes I get killed in one hit. I guess it's just the missions that I'm being put into. And other times it does almost nothing to me. It feels like nothing has an impact in this game that you're doing. And also, okay, everything feels like it's delayed. Everything feels like it's delayed. You know when you're playing something and you can see that it's behind what you're doing? If you ever stream a game every once in a while, and I don't mean stream it to people, I mean stream it through something like PlayStation Now or Google Stadia or whatever, every once in a while you can tell there's just a half second, maybe that's even too much, but a quarter of a second difference between what you're doing and seeing it on screen. And this isn't because this game is being streamed. This is just how this game performs. Everything is a little behind, a little sluggish. You see me fall through that hole there? I swear I pressed the button. I really think I did, but I think I pressed it too late for the game to register that I was trying to jump. I don't know. I just ran into multiple moments like that, and combat feels like that. So it feels weird to evade. It feels weird to shoot. Half the time, the shot I'm trying to do with the bow turns into me jumping into the air and shooting. It's just, it feels so behind. I can't explain it in any other way, but it just feels like everything I do is a half second, quarter second behind the button presses I'm making. Yeah. And because of that, combat feels really unsatisfying. Well, combat feels really unsatisfying for both those reasons, because I don't know when I'm going to get hit, and when I do, it kills me instantly. And other times, I'm not doing the attacks I want to do, and it feels like I'm in another world. Like, it's almost like I'm telling someone to hit the right trigger, then they're hitting it, and we see it in game or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's just slow. It's just slow and behind. As I said earlier, I don't want to be too negative because I do think picking up the loot and leveling, it was fun, and I feel like there is a fun game in here, but it really needs to be polished up. It really needs to be fixed up. It's probably so much better when you're playing with some friends. Even then, my first impression for now is going to be my last impression because I don't plan on coming back to this game for a while. I actually do want to see this game once it's updated. So if this game is updated and patched, some of the performance issues are addressed, maybe they add in some split screen co-op and I can try it with someone next to me. Once that happens, I will give Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance another shot. But for now, unfortunately, I think this is a game you can kind of skip. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm a little bummed on it. I was hoping it was going to be better than that. But let me know what you think in the comments. Are you having a lot of fun with this game? Maybe I'm missing something and you need to shout at me and tell me the reason to hop back into this because I would genuinely love to hear it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I love you, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye. Mwah.